And welcome everybody to New Hampshire Motor Speedway as we get ready to get our first race of the chase here in Season 6 of the Oreo Truck Series underway. Today we are here, as I said, at the home of the Extra Miles. We get ready for the running of the Charles Bilardo 201. This is going to be a special tribute race to Michael Norman's uncle, I believe, who was diagnosed, I believe he said it was with stage 4 cancer. So thoughts and prayers go out to Charles Bilardo, Michael Norman, and the rest of that family. But this is going to be a tribute race here with our first chase race of this season in the Oreo Truck Series. 30-lap event ready to be run here today. 12 drivers come in with their hopes and dreams on the line to start off on an amazing 10-race journey to try and become the Season 6 Oreo Truck Series champion. Right now, only one driver that comes into this race has an opportunity to be a 2-time Truck Series champ, and that's the defending champion and 3-time winner this season, Chris Dollarton. Everybody else, if they win the championship here in the Oreo Truck Series, it would be for the first time ever in their career. We'll be updating all 12 of those drivers during the course of today's race, since they are the ones now that are basically going to decide the outcome of this season. But let's get to the first few rows of the starting lineup for this race. William Duncan starts on the inside of row number 1 with the pole position. William has not been to victory lane yet this season. He's been close on numerous occasions, having that 22 up there in recent weeks up in the good running order. As a matter of fact, I believe he actually was at one point close to making the top 10 in points, but then some bad runs ended up dropping him down. He's currently 23rd in points. Alongside of him, the highest starting of the chase drivers, and probably one of the biggest surprises in the chase, Noah Hart, the rookie, is going to be coming in dead last in the points. He's actually tied in a 4-way tie for 9th, but he has no wins this season. Noah Hart, now in the chase, may be able to set his sights on winning races, and we'll see what he does here as he'll start on the outside of the front row. It's going to be all Penske down on the bottom of rows 1 and 2 because Sean Galligan lines up in the 3rd position. Galligan missing the chase for, I believe, the first time in 3 seasons in the Oreo Truck Series. I believe he's made the chase every season since Season 3, and Galligan is going to start off from the 3rd position. Galligan 29th in points, and alongside of him, James Silverfox, who made the other 2 chases but was not able to make the Truck Series chase. It's been a really dismal season for the Turner Motorsports number 4 team. 34th in points they come in. He'd love to be able to end the season out here with a couple wins. Maybe first one could come here today at New Hampshire. It also give him some good experience as far as the Mobile and Snickers Cup Series races, which he's battling for championships in for both those series. Jacob Lawler, he ended up making the chase as he ended up clinching himself a spot via top 10 in points. He also had led that completion of lap 10 back at Atlanta. Didn't really need it though, but he'll start off from the 5th position. He is the 2nd highest chaser. It's kind of interesting that the chasers that have no wins so far this season starting up here inside the top 5, that being Noah Hart and Jacob Lawler. You could tell the sense of urgency, knowing that those bonus points for wins are definitely needed now with a championship on the line. Next chaser that I see actually up here is actually Dylan Poteet, who led a majority of the Oreo Truck Series standings for most of the regular season. Due to the fact that he only had 1 win, though, he has dropped down to tie for 6th in the point standings behind Eric Burton, Andy Timmons, Dylan Young, Chris Dollarton, and James McLeod, who have 2 and 3 wins apiece. So Poteet, we'll see if he'll be able to continue on what's been a good streak of runs for him lately as he enters the chase. I think I see the Eric Burton machine back there in what would be 12th place. I believe that's the Budweiser Chevrolet. Burton rolling off from 12th position, and he ended up getting in via a wild card spot with his 2nd win of the season last week at Arizona, so he's got a lot of momentum on his side. Trying to see if I can find the other chaser starting close up to the front. I guess the closest one after that would be 15th place, and that's Austin LaPlante, who is currently in a tie with Dylan Poteet and Prudence Littlejohn for 6th in the point stands as he has 1 win. But there are some big names that are up atop the chase standings. James McLeod, Chris Dollarton, Dylan Young, and Andy Timmons that I cannot see. I don't know where they're starting, so it's going to be interesting to see if they'll work their way up to the front of the field. Enough talk, though. We're ready to get this chase going. We know the 12 drivers will battle out for the chase. Let's see how they do now during chase conditions here at New Hampshire, as William Duncan, Noah Hart going to get us underway. Pace car getting ready to peel off. The 42 drivers will peel off behind him. And we will now show you your starting lineup for today's race here at New Hampshire. And it looks like it looks like it's a little bit of a problem as far as my frame rate, so I'll see if I can take care of that as we get ready to go to Green Flag Racing. Here is your starting grid. while since we've been here at New Hampshire, and so from what I remember of this track, usually double wide racing is what we see here. Very normally we don't see 3 wide or else we run into trouble because there's not a whole lot of banking here. And then also you have the factor in of that these drivers tend to have to make pit stops during races like this due to the tire wear. So drivers will be slowing down coming out of turn 4, and we'll see if anybody gets run over, because that seems to be something that happens here at Loudon. But here we go. The first race of the chase for the Oreo Truck Series is on. Green flag is out, and we're underway. Now, if the pit strategy doesn't come into play, I would say that drivers up here front are in a good position as Noah Hart's going to get moved up the racetrack. He's making contact with Noah Hart as Sean Galligan goes underneath his teammate for the lead. And oh man, you got to watch back here with Silver Fox and Noah Hart, because there was almost some contact and almost some 3 wide racing there, but they are going to settle it out and keep it going. Noah Hart getting the short end of the stick there as it's a battle up front between the 2 Penske teammates. Sean Galligan on the inside, William Duncan on the high side. Duncan trying to get the outside line momentum off the corner, but I think Galligan may have led that lap. I'm not sure. We're waiting for the updating scoring monitor, which made a fail last week, as you recall. And yes, it looks like the leader under the caution flag is going to be Sean Galligan. I don't know what the caution came out for, but the drivers don't seem to be slowing down. They must have actually crossed the stripe before the caution flag came out. Now Galligan trying to clear William Duncan as they'll race back to the stripe. Duncan, with a clear advantage, clears his teammate. Penske will be 1-2 under the caution with Galligan the leader and Duncan in second. Let's see who was involved in this caution. And Charles Jackson, who just last week missed out on making the Truck Series Championship, he's involved. Mark Thomas appears to be having some damage. There was somebody else in the apron there. That was the 17 of Kyle Corbett. Crown Royal Ford on pit road. Whoa, nearly came up into Mark Thomas. Trying to see if anybody else may have some damage. Everybody else appears to have gotten through whatever this incident was fairly well. Yep, as we cycle up through here, all these other drivers appear to have no damage, if any. Let's quickly see if there could be any pit stops here. As Galligan almost looks like he's looking like he's maybe indicating coming to pit road. Yes, he is. He's coming to pit road. So is his teammate William Duncan. See if anybody's going to roll the strategy. Noah Hart staying out. So is Lawler. Silver Fox. Kyle Thomas staying out. Deanna Shelton's coming down. Poteet is staying out. So a lot of different strategies here. The 2 Penske drivers decided to give up positions 1 and 2 to come down and pit here on lap 4 under our first caution. Let's see what happened to bring that yellow flag out. This was coming off 4 just after Sean Galligan and William Duncan had crossed our finish line. Contact there between Kevin White and Charles Jackson sends Jackson to Mark Thomas and then straight down into the inside retaining wall. And there's one of our chasers, James McLeod, nearly involved there. Lyndon Wright did get a piece of it, though. He goes up into Emilio Navarrete, and there's where Kyle Corbett's going to get his damage. And Joshua Michaels going to get a little piece of that as well. Navarrete may have gotten some of that. And I don't know if the 27 of DeMarco got a lot of that or not either, but that was the reason the caution came out about a 3-4 car incident coming off of turn number 4, and that puts us under the yellow for the first time tonight, or today I should say, rather, but none of our chasers were involved in it, so that's going to be at least a good thing so far, as our first yellow's out. Let's head back now to green. Noah Hart decided to stay out under the caution flag. He will be our leader when we go back green. Well, it's going to be interesting to see which strategy plays out better. Which is better, fresh rubber or track position? Sean Galligan, William Duncan came down, made 4 tire stops. They're restarting near the tail end of the field, but with fresher rubber than everybody else. Noah Hart and everybody here up inside the top 10, even further back, decided to stay out to gain track position. And interestingly enough, a lot of them are championship contenders. Noah Hart, the leader, Jacob Lawler in second, both those drivers in the chase. You got Silver Fox in third, fourth Kyle Thomas. Then there's Poteet, another championship contender, in fifth. Sixth place is Alex May, Dougie Shears 7th, 8th Jeremy Mayer, Charles Sanford 9th, and there's another chaser in Eric Burton 10th. Bob Jones 11th, 12th is Andy Timmons, that's another chaser there. Aaron Williams Jr. runs 13th, Tyson Broad in 14th, 15th another chaser in Dylan Young, 16th will be Zach Rogers, Pete Lennon 17th, rest of the top 20, chaser Adam Chambers, then Nick Bilardo, and Kevin White. Let's see where Sean Galligan and William Duncan are going to restart. They're restarting back in 24th and 25th, so the top 24 drivers did not come down pit road. So we jump back up to the leader, Noah Hart. Green flag is out, and we're back underway here on lap 7 of 30. Noah Hart going to get away very quickly. Best Battle's going to be on for third. Dylan Poteet trying to go 3 wide there with Felix Graves and his teammate James Silverfox. Alex May right in the hunt there as well, but looks like they're all going to keep it settled out there as we nearly went 3 wide. Kyle Thomas will move to the 3rd position. Now a battle for 4th. Poteet trying to pick that spot up off his teammate Silver Fox, with Alex May waiting in the wings in 6th place. And Lawler appears to starting to close the gap between himself and Noah Hart. We may have a battle for the lead here very soon between 2 championship contenders. Few drivers that we haven't updated yet that are in the chase that we were not able to find from that running order rundown. One of them is Chris Dollerton. He came down pit road. Whoa, so we got spun back there. That's Prudence Littlejohn. She's hit the wall. Littlejohn has been turned to the inside retaining wall. That's a rookie championship contender right there. And she is smoking, and that should bring out the yellow. It doesn't. No caution for the spinning Prudence Littlejohn. Now that's quite ironic. I would think that the caution would have come out for something like that, but apparently they're not deeming that worthy of a caution, and that's a tough break for Prudence Littlejohn, who's a former winner this season back at Phoenix, made the chase, one of 3 rookies who are in the chase for the Oreo Truck Series Championship, and just like that, she's going to wreck out and not even have a caution thrown for her wreck. We're looking here at Chris Dollerton, who we were going to focus on before we saw Littlejohn get turned. Chris Dollerton back here in the 36th position right now. The defending champ got a long way to go here, and I think he was one of those drivers who came down pit road under that last caution. Let's try and find a few more chasers back here not doing so well. There's Austin LaPlante back here in the 30th position. Right now trying to get by John Radigan and Deanna Shelton and company. He, I think, also came down pit road when Dollerton, Galligan, and Duncan did. Someone's scraping the wall. Oh, they're spinning up ahead. Zach Rogers is around. Kevin White's around. Galligan gets involved. And, oh, they're coming piling in. Oh, man. Oh, Dollerton's involved in it. Dunham, another championship contender involved. LaPlante's involved. Russell, Kevin White, Radigan. We saw the Zach Rogers machine around. There's Michaels. Galligan may have been involved. Cody Lamas is in it. Sean Henley's got some damage, and these two I saw come barreling through there and somehow got through that incident, right through the center. Danny Wells and Emilio Navarrete. That was some gutsy moves by both of them. Oh, what is Cody Lamas doing? Yikes! Nearly sliding up into Alex DeMarco. There's Dollerton, though. He's damaged. So is Stephen Pollard III. So is Dunham, Rogers. There's Kevin White's machine, Max Russell. William Duncan, who was out in front, the pole sitter. He's badly damaged after some pit strategy didn't work out well for him. Mark Thomas sits on pit road with no hood. Oh, and Austin LaPlante is smoking. LaPlante, who is a chase contender, involved here as well. And there's black smoke coming out of that car. That's an indication. That's a fatal sign for that engine, and that may mean that Austin LaPlante could be our first DNFer as far as chase contenders. Looks like they're going to try and maybe get that thing repaired. I don't know if they'll be able to, but we're under the caution nonetheless. The leader under caution is Cody Lamas will return to the track. Well, I don't know who the leader will be. Everybody's coming down pit road this time. Noah Hart, Jacob Lawler, Kyle Thomas, Dylan Poteet, James Silverfox. So let's jump to our pit lane 1 cam. A few drivers are staying out. Danny Wells, Emilio Navarrete, and Deanna Shelton, the 3 drivers who went Dukes of Hazzard, if you will, through the middle of that wreck and somehow squeezed their way through. As it's going to be Kyle Thomas off pit road first, then Dylan Poteet, then Hart, Silverfox, Lawler. Then it was May, Williams, Young, Mayer, and Sanford. That was the top 10 coming off pit road. Awfully close there in about 3 different groups. As we're under the caution flag, let's look back at a replay of what happened. Looks like another wreck off of turn number 4. Well, before we do that, I think we got to give some credence to the incident involving chase contender Prudence Littlejohn. This was right back at the very rear of the field, I do believe. I don't think this was, I think this may have even been for a 38th position. And the context would come between Stephen Pollard III and Prudence Littlejohn. And right into the wall goes the 20, and that is steel there, folks. No safer barrier, no give, no nothing. And a lick into that wall is pretty much spells the doom of any driver that hits it. And Prudence Littlejohn, unfortunately, being the one that hits it. And kind of ironic, she gets turned the very first chase race here as a rookie chaser by a driver who last season was a rookie chaser in Stephen Pollard III. Just a little bit of irony there, but that's a tough break for Prudence, and she's going to definitely be behind the 8 ball heading into next week, trying to battle back, get herself back up in the standings, because today is certainly not going to be a good points day for the driver of the 20. Let's take a look now and see what the incident was off of 4 that actually did bring out our second caution flag. See if we can find where this starts. Oh, right there. Championship contender Adam Chambers squeezes Zach Rogers into the wall. Nowhere for Kevin White to go. James McLeod right behind this. He is just barely going to get through, I think. He may get a little damage there on the left front with contact with Kevin White. I don't know for certain. And watch there. There's Cody Lamas. He gets damaged, but look at the 5 and the 78. They went straight through, full speed. Mark Thomas tried to do the same. It didn't work. Dollarton gets involved. There's DeMarco, Michaels, Lyndon Wright, Mark Thomas, Stephen Pollard III. There's LaPlante, Radigan, Duncan, Russell, all held up back here as well. Lots of championship contenders involved in this one with damage, including LaPlante, Trent Dunham, Adam Chambers with a little piece of that. Same for James McLeod. And there was another championship contender up here too, I do believe, that was involved, and I'm not remembering who it was. Oh yeah, Dollarton, the defending champ. So, wow. Our first caution involved absolutely no chasers whatsoever. This second caution, and the Prudence Littlejohn incident involving several chasers here in the very first chase race. Let's head back to green. Who's going to be able to continue. I saw Trent Dunham come off pit road. We'll see what the rest of those other chasers involved are going to be able to do. Getting ready to go back to green flag race, and you're looking at your new leader, Danny Wells. He, Emilio Navarrete, Deanna Shelton all decided to stay out under that caution flag after they were able to get through that incident off of turn number 4. So they'll restart first, second, and third behind the driver of Cody Lamas, who is currently on the tail end of the lead lap. Currently, I believe he's in 35th. That's indeed where he is going to start this race. Or restart this race, I should say. Halfway point has just been reached. We'll go back to green on lap 16 of 30. Navarrete will line up in second with Deanna Shelton in third. Then it's Kyle Thomas 4th. 5th, Dylan Poteet. 6th, Noah Hart. James Silverfox 7th. 8th place will be Jacob Lawler. 9th will be Alex May. And Aaron Williams Jr. will line up in 10th. Find the rest of our chasers. 11th will be Dylan Young. Got to go back here before you find 19th place James McLeod, 20th Adam Chambers, Eric Burton will be 23rd, 24th is Trent Dunham, 25th is Andy Timmons, 27th will be Chris Dollarton, and that's it for the chasers that are still on the racetrack. As the green flag will come back out, drivers out of the race are as follows: Kevin White, Austin LaPlante, Mark Thomas, Lyndon Wright, Prudence Littlejohn, Kyle Corbett, and Charles Jackson. So 2 drivers, LaPlante and Prudence Littlejohn, 2 chasers, are out of this event, and Danny Wells is going to make short work of Cody Lamas, put him a lap down, and Danny Wells now will have a lap car between himself and Emilio Navarrete. Well, maybe not. Navarrete going to try and make short work now of Cody Lamas. He'll move by. He's got Kyle Thomas right behind him in 3rd place, looking for 2nd. That lap car was helpful to Danny Wells to give a little bit of distance between himself and the 78. I heard someone scrape the wall back there, but apparently nobody spun because there's no caution. Oh, somebody did spin up here, though, and it's McLeod, another championship contender, and he spun right in front of Deanna Shelton. Trent Dunham's around, contact with the, I believe that was Max Russell. Joshua Michaels involved. There was a wreck and a follow-up wreck, and some more chasers involved. You're looking at one of them. The engine has just erupted, I believe, on the 30 car. Tyson Broad has got damage. Bob Jones has got damage. And I thought I saw smoke coming out of the back of the 30. That might have been some residue smoke from the 59. I'm not certain. But the caution flag is out, and there's another spin. That time it was Lawler. Oh, and he goes up at Eric Burton. Dollarton just barely avoids, but William Duncan's involved, and Russell's involved in another incident. That's some more chasers, Lawler and Burton. Chasers are falling by the wayside like crazy now. Dollarton's got more damage. Silver Fox is on the apron damaged. I saw another car back there damaged that wasn't damaged before. Oh, Alex May's got some damage. And oh my goodness. Things are breaking down quickly here as far as the chase is concerned. And let's see if Danny Wells and Emilio Navarrete can come down pit road. No, Wells is going to stay out. Navarrete will come to pit road, though. So Danny Wells rolling the dice again. He'll stay out. Yet another caution flag. So that'll move Kyle Thomas up to 2nd place. But we got to look back at a replay of what happened. We had a wreck, a follow-up wreck, and then another wreck the following lap coming out of turn 4 to the caution flag. Now watch this coming off of 4. Deanna Shelton's going to drive really hard into the corner. She gets into the 39 of Cody Lamas. They're literally sideways. Noah Hart then goes sideways when he makes contact with Deanna Shelton. And the 2 of them going to go down towards the inside retaining wall, and I think Shelton almost had it saved, but a little bit of contact from Noah Hart's going to turn her into the wall. Then she's going to come back up the track, make some contact with Jacob Lawler. She's going to get turned up in front of the Alex May machine then, and that's just going to start blocking up the track, I should say, not blacking up. But anyway, Bob Jones trying to find a way through. He's got cars to his inside, outside, and Tyson Broad just runs him over. James McLeod not able to slow down as well as he runs into the back of Shelton. Here's Eric Burton coming into view. Oh my goodness, how did he get through there? And there's Dunham. He's going to get turned around as he's trying to slow down. He gets turned by the William Duncan machine. He gets a hit from Max Russell. And then Joshua Michaels has absolutely nowhere to go either in the number 7. But wow, there was a lot of beating and banging and contact right there, all the way from turn 4 down into turn number 1. But then it wasn't over. Then we had an incident in the exact same spot coming around on the next lap. Let's take a look at that. And on this lap, it again is going to involve the lap car of Cody Lamas right there. Silver Fox got really loose coming off the corner. He slides up into the 39. Now, 2 of them going to go up and hit the outside retaining wall. And then Silver Fox is going to get a few more licks here in just a moment. There's one by Lawler. There's one by Alex May. Brian James gets a piece of it. Darts down to the inside line. Nice save there to not hit the wall, though. But then Jacob Lawler, he is sideways. Gets the car righted, but watch the 8 of Eric Burton. He's trying to find a line. He's thinking going high, thinking going low. Runs straight into the back of Jacob Lawler machine, rather. And then, where's the initial contact going to come? Right there. Chris Dollerton into the left rear. Up into Eric Burton goes Jacob Lawler. Dollerton cannot find any place to not get involved in an incident today, it seems. And then here comes everybody else, and it looks like they're going to get through it, actually. They get through it, but I thought there was something else up here. Well, maybe not. Maybe they do get all out of it. Yeah, I guess they do. So that's actually was a much milder wreck than the lap before, but more chasers involved. Eric Burton and Jacob Lawler, they're all starting to get involved in these incidents here, and it's starting to separate between which drivers are going to start the chase off well and which drivers are going to start the chase off poorly. Right now, I think that the poorly drivers are outweighing the drivers that are doing well. Whoa, Max Russell just flat out spun around there. What happened to him? Did he run in the back of Michaels or something? He just flat out spun around. And he got nailed by Eric Burton. Man, he's been involved in just about every incident today, has the 98, but the caution's out nonetheless. Let's head back to green. Danny Wells is the current leader. Welcome back to Green Flag Racing. Danny Wells out in front. He has not been to pit road, I think, since the caution came out back on lap number 1 and the pit stops on lap number 2. So he's gone 19 laps on that set of tires, and I think he's going to have to come down pit road at some time. He may be trying to stretch it, but normally here in New Hampshire, if you don't have good tires, you're not going to have good grip, and you're going to very easily lose positions on track. But he's the leader. Second place is going to be Kyle Thomas. Then it's Dylan Poteet in 3rd, Aaron Williams Jr. 4th, Noah Hart in 5th. 6th is Dylan Young. 7th place will be Charles Sanford. There's the lap car of Cody Lamas, 31st on the racetrack, but it's a single file restart with it being less than 10 to go. Jeremy Mayer will line up in 8th, Pichu London 9th, and Brian James is in 10th. Let's find the rest of our chasers that are still on track. There aren't many of them. Chris Dollerton's in 16th, Eric Burton in 17th, Chambers in 19th, Timmons in 20th. There's Trent Dunham in 23rd. And that may be it. Nope, McLeod. He's going to restart in the 27th position. So we head back up now to the leader, Danny Wells. We'll update you on the drivers out of this race as of right now, and they include a couple of chase contenders. Cody Lamas is 1 lap down, but out of the race are Bob Jones, James Silver Fox, championship contender Jacob Lawler. He is out. And Tryphon Reed. So 3 championship contenders out of this race: LaPlante, Littlejohn, and Lawler. Danny Wells opening about a car length between himself and Kyle Thomas on this restart. Certainly doesn't look like he's got older tires right now. As the caution out, I think I may have just seen some lights. Yep, caution is indeed out. And this may be helping out Danny Wells, because every time the caution comes out, that's 1 or a few more laps that he does not have to wear his tires down. He can just ride around under caution. Let's see who was involved in this one. Oh, a lot more drivers again. Max Russell involved in yet another incident. Duncan, Navarrete, Michaels, a lot of the drivers who have had tough luck today involved in this one again. And I think we could pinpoint it right there to the driver of the 39, perhaps Cody Lamas. But the caution flag is out. Looks like Max Russell's terrible day will finally come to an end behind the wall, as Danny Wells leads us under the yellow flag, and he is not coming to pit road yet again. He will stay out under yet another caution flag. We'll be restarting with about maybe 4 laps to go. Let's head back, take a look at a replay of what happened. This, I think, was near the rear of the field. Yeah, this was back here with all these drivers that have been involved in one incident or another. A lot of damaged cars, a lot of sheet metal everywhere. Chambers going to make contact with Eric Burton. That's a couple of chase contenders. And then Trent Dunham runs into the back of the 8. Little help from Joshua Michaels. He spins around in front of the field. And then I think he's going to get nailed by Max Russell right there. There's the hit. Russell erupts in smoke. And then up ahead here, Joshua Michaels going to have some contact made with him. And is it Bob Jones? Yep, right there. You see Bob Jones in the 11. He and Joshua Michaels had just gotten underneath the spinning Trent Dunham machine. Bob Jones then slides up. He gets Michaels. Michaels gets the wall. Jones gets McLeod, who gets the wall. McLeod then gets Michaels, turns him up into William Duncan. Then Max Russell runs into the back of Deanna Shelton. And so we go back to green. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing yet again. We've been under the caution quite a bit here today at New Hampshire. A lot of drivers having difficulty finding grip off of turn number 4. That's been the initial problem for most of our cautions coming out. When we go back to green, we'll have 4 laps to go. Danny Wells still on old tires that he changed back on lap number 2. They are 24 laps old, and they are not as fresh as these other drivers behind him because we know these other drivers have been to pit road since then. But Wells still the leader. Kyle Thomas in second. Third place is Dylan Poteet, Aaron Williams Jr. fourth, Noah Hart fifth. Then it's Sanford, Young, Mayer, Brian James, and Pichu London. You notice there is no Cody Lamas up here inside the top 10. The lap down machine, he is at the rear of the field, and these drivers will not have to contend with him in the closing stages. So we'll see if maybe we can finish this thing under green. I think if the caution comes out under this green flag run, then we will be finishing this race under the caution flag. So I think that initially drivers second on back want this thing to remain green. Danny Wells would love to see another quick caution, so maybe he can use the caution laps to be able to win this race. The green flag is back out. We're back underway, and Poteet immediately goes to the bottom of the Kyle Thomas machine. He's not waiting. Aaron Williams Jr. going to follow him underneath there, and that's going to allow Danny Wells to open up a little bit of daylight between himself and that battle for second. Actually, let's strike that. A lot of daylight. He just opened about 3 car lengths between himself and Kyle Thomas, who will keep second place with the high line around Dylan Poteet. Now the battle is on for 4th place. Charles Sanford trying to get Aaron Williams Jr. Aaron Williams Jr., they're going to use the outside line. He'll keep 4th position. And the top 5 are now single file as Kyle Thomas is trying to run down Danny Wells, who, with the older tires, does not appear to be losing any speed or any ground. He seems to actually be gaining a little bit on the rookie Kyle Thomas. Jump back here. Noah Hart, Dylan Young, 2 chase contenders side by side with each other. And Dylan Young, wait a minute. Oh, they're coming to pit road. Dylan Young, Aaron Williams Jr., and Kyle Thomas are coming to pit road with 2 to go. So they can't make it. So wait a minute. How is Danny Wells still out there? Danny Wells should have definitely have hit pit road by now if those other drivers are having to pit. Unless he was able to save fuel under those caution laps. I don't know if that's what happened or not, but right now we're going to see, is he going to come to pit road? No, he's going to gamble it. Danny Wells has nothing to lose. He's not battling for a championship. He just wants to leave with as many wins as he can here in Season 6. He's going to take the white flag. Let's see if he can make it. Dylan Poteet going to be the one to try and run him down as here comes some merging traffic up in front of him. There's Dougie Shears, Alex DeMarco, Kyle Thomas, who was up inside the top 5, is coming off of pit road. Dylan Young as well. This may actually help Danny Wells to be able to separate himself from Dylan Poteet. Coming through turns 3 and 4. Danny Wells on the high side, but so is Poteet. Poteet will not be able to make up the ground. Danny Wells trying to keep it off the wall. He will. Danny Wells picks up his 2nd win of the season in the Oreo Truck Series as there's smoke up ahead. But Danny Wells, on tires that he got on lap 2 and fuel that he received on lap 2, stretches it enough to be able to pick up the win here today in the Charles Bilardo 201. Wow. We've seen fuel strategy played out a lot, but I think that was one of the best fuel strategy plays I've ever seen in an event here at a track such as New Hampshire. Danny Wells going to get it done today, his 2nd win of the season. And Danny Wells, who's actually battling it out for Mobile and Snickers Cup Series championships here in Season 6, this may be something that he could utilize in those 2 series here at New Hampshire, and it could help him as far as the chase in both those series. But Danny Wells, who now I think is actually out of fuel, yes he is, Danny Wells made it. I think he could have possibly made it one more lap, but that would have really been stretching it, but he made it to the end nonetheless, and he's going to very slowly come down pit road. They may have to actually push him to victory lane, but I don't think they're going to care. Danny Wells with the win. Let's take a look at our official top 10 results. Dylan Poteet. His streak of good finishes just continue to happen. He enters the chase, dropped to 6th in points because of having only 1 win this season, but he'll move back up in the point standings with a 2nd place run. 3rd place was Charles Sanford. How about Noah Hart? The surprise last week of making the chase, and he comes away with a solid 4th place run here today. Nick Bilardo, didn't talk about him all day. He gets 5th. Pichu London 6th. Sean Galligan got involved in an incident further back at the beginning of the race after he made a pit stop back on lap 2. He worked his way back up to 7th. Sean Henley was 8th. Andy Timmons, great run for that rookie, a chase contender, in 9th. And Alex May is going to finish the day in 10th. Let's find out where the rest of our chase contenders finished. Chambers got a great run in 11th. Eric Burton, a lot of damage on his car, but he got 14th. Trent Dunham got 15th, so good runs for both of them. Dylan Young had to come down pit road, but he got back out on the tail of the lead lap. He'll finish in 18th place. James McLeod was the last car to finish on the lead lap in 21st. Then you look further down, you find Chris Dollerton. He finished a lap down in 30th position. Looking further down, the other drivers all DNF'd. 34th place for Jacob Lawler, Austin LaPlante in 37th, and the heartbreak there for the Chasers, Prudence Littlejohn in the 40th position. But the winner today is Danny Wells. A non-chaser goes to victory lane here in race 27, and a great win for him, great fuel mileage, and good pit strategy. So he picks up the win. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Here comes your official results, overall points standings, rookie points, and chase points. Heading into next week, guess where we're heading, folks? We're going back to Thornton, the home of the Turn of Death. We still got 2 more races here in New Hampshire before we head to Thornton, though. Hope you'll tune in for those. We'll see you guys next time. And you've been watching Ducks with the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best. Here they come off the final corner, and oh, what was John Zinedino, the leader! Zinedino, the pole sitter, and there goes Madison Saber off! There goes Ralph Mason, 2nd in points off! Oh my goodness!